Self-Knowledge and Self-Realization by Nisargadatta. Preface to the original Marathi book. I first came in contact with Sri Sadguru Nisargadatta Maharaj, his original name at the time being Sri Maruti Rao Shivarama Kambli, at the far end of the year 1933. We, all of us co-disciples, were singing our night prayers with our preceptor, the Sadguru Sri Siddharameshwar Maharaj, in the hall of one of our senior co-disciples, Sri Krishna Rao Pantvari at Gamdevi. And we used to meet later on as co-disciples. But I came into intimate contact with him only at the beginning of 1941. I take it to be a great favor of Sri Sadguru Siddharameshwar Maharaj that I was blessed by the company of an enlightened soul to guide me at the highest level in my spiritual pursuit after the Mahasamadhi of the Master. In recognition of this favor, whatever I say is a heartfelt expression inspired by the Guru himself. And it is his nectar-sweet voice, not mine. I venture to write this preface only to honor the loving insistence of the disciples of Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. A preface to a book like this, present one, is not the proper place to dwell on the personal relations at length. Hence, it is better to resist the temptation to go ahead with it. This book begins with the discourse on the great principle. There should one enter into discussion, says Ram Dass, where a satisfactory end can be visualized, and this can be best interpreted as that alone should be discussed, which is the root cause of all discussions and where all discussions come to an end. The apperception of the I in one's own being is the consummation of all knowledge, while the perception of the ego is the greatest calamity. So says the Yoga Vasista. The realization of the not I, but thou, O God, is the veritable salvation. The assertion of the ego is the root cause of all suffering. This basic fact has been exquisitely explained in a number of discourses in the present book. Though no references have been quoted in support of the arguments and statements, a sympathetic and wise reader and listener will certainly be reminded of a different work and sayings of great saints while listening. The language of some of the discourses, such as the Leela of God and the unitive life, is not within the easy grasp of the common man. The rhythm in itself is enough to hold him spellbound, and in the course of time he is sure to grasp the sense as well. For the language may change, but the meaning is not lost. What matters above all else is the meaning itself. So it states in the Das Bod. The conviction that I am not the body and hence am not like it, I am the soul, I am Brahman, is the very basis of spiritual life. In social interaction, when angry, one warns the other, "Not a word about me, mind you. I am not what I look." Similarly, as the saying goes, there is no remedy to change one's nature. This and other similar proverbs have come from the mouth of the learned people. Here, the word nature stands for the core of the conscious principle, the eternal supreme soul and its sacred power. If the supreme soul be eternal, how can its power be evanescent? This energy plays the game of cosmic display for a while and disappears only to emerge again. This, its rhythmic process, goes on forever. That energy, that duration, is also called the feet of the saints. This duration is immeasurable. For the sunrise, the very measurement thereof is not there at all. Still, this experience, this anubhava, that the atom has become this world, is not to be had in its pure form, and is hence to be called Maya. As in the waking state, so also in deep sleep, the soul experiences a world of sin generis. And what are its constituents? The universal soul, the atom of atoms, becomes active and shines forth as surrounded by the universe. Its first ray of light is the ether, and the rest is pumped hard into it. The saint is always aware of this fact, and hence is cautious in his behavior. In the dreams we feel we are awake. The same is true of the intimations of the spiritual experiences in the beginning. But that too is a dream again. It is a hallucination. So says the Dasbodh. Hence, eventually, the saints are always calm and composed and outspoken, no matter what. But to attain this status, one must grow selfless and indifferent. One must renounce the transitory for the eternal. The sense of renunciation comes not of the saffron-colored garb, but of indifference to the body. The conviction that I am not the body, but the great soul, is the true sign of spiritual knowledge. So says Shankaracharya. He also said, the saints have no expectation, nor pride, nor interest, nor duality. All are equal for them. They are composed and their mind is ever attuned to bliss. This point is exquisitely expounded in the discourses on the divine vision and the devotee, and other chapters in this book. Is there anything in the universe that does not owe its being to Pranava, the primordial Om? All that is and appears is an expression of the Pranava. He alone permeates through and through everything in the universe. Is it not indeed surprising that the loving and lovable Pranava should in loving anger expect to get satisfaction in salutation? This is lucidly brought out in the Gayatri hymns. Know what, as well as the chapter Spiritual Bliss. To wit, every discourse goes to the very root of the subject and is strewn with intense devotion, enlightenment, and spiritual resignation. This has made the book fascinating and unique. The listener is sure to meet with enlightenment and joy while going through. The discourse on spiritual knowledge and the pacification of the desire to know may be read with great profit. If it is careful and repeatedly studied, the whole book, the aspirant, I am sure, will reap the high harvest of spiritual knowledge with the grace of Sri Sadguru Siddharameshwar Maharaj. Khandarao Atmaram Sapnis.